2 months, 47 games, 424 innings. The 77th season in Blues history has been a long and winding road, and it all comes down to one game. Welcome to Pershing Park in Santa Barbara for the Blues' regular season finale against the Foresters. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jack Smith. Despite the doubleheader sweep yesterday, the Blues' playoff hopes are still alive, but it will take a perfect day to get there. There were a handful of postseason scenarios just a day ago, but there was only one today. The Blues need both a win against the Foresters and a Conejo Oaks loss against the Academy Barons. One or the other won't be enough. SLO needs both, or they'll be kept out of the CCL postseason. We'll have more updates on the playoff picture as they develop, but for now, all the Blues can do is control their half of the day. It's a must-win finale, and it's coming up next on the SLO Blues streaming network. National anthem and first pitch coming up here at Pershing Park, and we'll let you take a listen.
The Foresters coaches and players in honor of America playing our national anthem. Here to perform again, he's always brought us luck so far this year. Please welcome the field trumpeter, Matt Pellman.
An excellent trumpet-filled national anthem here from Pershing Park, and we're just about ready for baseball here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Let's take you through the starting lineup for the Blues in the finale here this season. It's Jacob Ruley, the Blues left fielder, who will lead things off. Matt Mastiangelo plays right behind him and hits second. Jariah Lewis, the Blues center fielder from San Jose State, hits third. Then it's Zach Tollerman, his second game coming off injury, hitting in the cleanup spot. Sam DiCarlo, the Washington third baseman, will hit fifth, and he's followed by Jason Hansen, the Blues first baseman from UC Davis. Bottom third of the order is Jacob Galloway, the catcher from USC, who makes his return from sickness. Cody Darcy, the shortstop from Arkansas State, and Darius Price, the second baseman from Cal Poly Pomona. So the Blues, who need a win here in the series finale, the season finale against the Santa Barbara Foresters, they'll have to do it against a tough arm. It's Carson Turnquist on the hill for Santa Barbara. The 6'5", 225-pound right-hander from Oklahoma has been, by all accounts, the best starting pitcher, really the best pitcher at all in the CCL South. He's got a .35 ERA in 25 2/3 innings, 35 strikeouts. That's the best qualified ERA of any arm, right or left-handed, starting or relief in the entire league. So it'll be a tough blow here for the Blues. They'll have to do it against one of the league's best, Carson Turnquist, who warms up here in the first inning. Let's take a look for the Santa Barbara defense here in the season finale for both squads. It is Galvan in left, Pace in center, Ballou in right. Right side of the infield is Garza Gongora and Ryan Black. Flores and Patterson make up the left side of the infield. Will Rogers does the catching, and Nate Voss will DH. Postseason scenario is simple for the Blues. We talked about it in the open. The Blues need a win here against the Foresters, a team that they are 3-3 against this year, and they will need the Academy Barons to beat the Oaks. We've got that game underway. It is a 3-2 lead for Conejo now in the bottom of the third inning. Game started at 1, and so just about a third of the way through that one, Conejo has a 1-run lead. The game being played in Thousand Oaks, so Conejo at home, leading by a score of 3-2. They've got a runner at second and 2 outs. We'll keep you posted on the score at that one, but it doesn't matter what happens in that game if the Blues aren't able to win here at Pershing Park, and they'll be trying to do so here starting in the first inning. For the Blues, it'll be Jacob Ruley, Matt Mastiangelo, Jariah Lewis, a day after the Blues lost both sets of a doubleheader to the Orange County Riptide. They're going to go against their rivals, the Foresters, who are donning the pinstripe blue and white uniforms. The Blues are wearing their road navies with the gray pants. And we're about underway here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Jacob Ruley to lead things off. Ruley hitting .225 this season, 12 runs batted in with 1 home run.
Now batting for the Blues, right fielder, number 25, Jacob.
So here we go, final day of the CCL season. The Blues in desperate need of a win, and they'll need a little help to get into the playoffs, but needing to control their half of the story first. And Jacob Ruley will lead things off. The Blues right fielder takes a fastball just at the letters for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Ruley, who has recently entered the transfer portal from CSU Bakersfield, hitting leadoff for the 4th straight game. The 1-0 from Turnquist, and Ruley swings and misses at the fastball, 1-1. Ruley, 5'10", 185-pound right-handed hitter, went 3 for 8 in the doubleheader yesterday, had 3 runs batted in. Turnquist, the righty, sets just above the belt. He delivers, and Ruley swings, hits a line drive right into the glove of the shortstop Flores for out number 1. So Ruley squares it up, but a nice defensive play. Hit it right at Flores, and there's 1 away.
Left fielder, number 38, Matt Mastiangelo.
Matt Mastiangelo will come to the plate now. The Blues left fielder hitting .333 so far this summer, 12 runs batted in. And the lefty will step into the back of the box, hoping to rebound from what was a tough day yesterday. Played in just the first leg of the doubleheader and had a rare off day, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. The 2 strikeouts doubled his season total. Takes a fastball here, low, 1 ball and no strikes. Coming into the game, Mastiangelo had only K'd 2 times in 16 games. Now through 17 with 4 strikeouts. Leads the team in walks with 19. He's got 16 hits and 48 at-bats. Turnquist from the stretch, kicks and fires, and Mastiangelo pops it up. Left side in foul territory. Rogers and Patterson converge. Rogers right in front of the dugout, watches it fall behind the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mastiangelo, also a transfer from CSU Bakersfield, in the portal and getting some love from a couple of D1 schools, but still deciding where to end up. 5'11", 190-pound two-way player. Through the 9th inning in yesterday's game. That second game of the doubleheader, and now back in the lineup as the Blues left fielder. Turnquist shakes a couple of signs, and now Mastiangelo calls time. Mastiangelo, we've talked about it all season, excellent command of the strike zone, does not swing and miss very often, and he likes his timing. take his time getting into the box. He won't let you freeze him. Here, a 1-1 count. Massiangelo takes a curveball right at the belt for a strike, 1-2. Turnquist from Oklahoma has had an excellent league season so far. You can't overstate just how good he's been after a pretty good freshman season for the Sooners, where he only got to throw 5 innings. .35 ERA now across 26 innings pitched. 1-2, he misses high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. See the fastball and the slider from Turnquist. Every pitcher, I would assume, here for the Foresters today, as we've seen all season, will be pumping some velocity, and the Blues, who haven't played Santa Barbara in a while, will be a little bit of an adjustment period. Turnquist sets the 2-2 home, and Massiangelo flies it foul the other way. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Blues had a golden opportunity with Conejo losing yesterday to these Foresters to win at least one of the games and put themselves in a big chance to make the playoffs here today, but SLO dropped both legs of the doubleheader. He struck out 28 times across 16 innings at the plate. Lost game 1 by a couple of runs, and then lost 6-1 in the finale. And there's strike 3 call. So Massiangelo down on strikes his last 3 times. Really just a rare sight for the Blues left fielder, and now there's 2 away. With 2 outs in the inning, Jariah Lewis will step up. The Blues center fielder hitting .198 so far this summer. 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. 2 away here in the first, as Turnquist looks for a 1-2-3 first inning. The Oklahoma right-hander pins his glove on the front side of his chest, comes set just above the belt. Pitch on the way, and Lewis takes the fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. In yesterday's game, Lewis struggled a little bit. He's 1 for his last 13 at the plate, and his average has dropped below 200 for the first time since July 7th, which is one of the last times the Blues played Santa Barbara. So he takes this fastball here for a strike, 1-1. Lewis has hit for power this summer. A couple of home runs in league play, also one in a non-league game. Had that big grand slam against the Oaks, but since then it's been a little bit of a struggle period for the Blues center fielder. The 1-1 home. And Lewis takes the curveball low. 2-1 the count. Rulli lined out to start the inning. Then the strikeout by Massiangelo. A 2-1 count here on Jariah Lewis. The pitch home. Lewis checks his swing and flies it foul. One that just glances off the barrel of the bat and over the netting behind home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Turnquist a strike away from a scoreless first. Looking to bring the Foresters' offense up for the first time. 2-2 count on Jariah Lewis. The Oklahoma righty shakes his sign. Now comes set. He strides and shoots. And he misses high with the fastball again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Just above the belt. It was a gutsy take by Lewis. But ball 3 and the count moves full. Turnquist shakes a 3-2 sign from his catcher Rogers. And now comes set. The payoff pitch. Lewis takes, strike 3 call. Slider at the bottom of the zone, and he knew it. And that's the end of the first. Heading to the bottom half of the inning, still a scoreless game here on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. We welcome you back here to Pershing Park in Santa Barbara. Time for the bottom of the first. Here's the starting lineup for the visiting, or the home, Santa Barbara Foresters. Greg Pace, the center fielder from Michigan, will lead things off. He's followed by Jalen Flores, the shortstop from Texas. Max Ballou, the Longhorn teammate of Flores, plays right field and hits third. Will Rogers, the catcher from ASU, in the cleanup spot. Then is Ryan Black, the UT Arlington second baseman, who hits fifth. Daniel Patterson, the third baseman from Westmont, moves down a little bit in the order. He will hit sixth. Bottom third of the order is Rocco Garza-Gongora, the first baseman from Oklahoma. Nate Voss, the Michigan DH, and Rylan Galvan, the left fielder from Texas. On the hill for your San Luis Obispo Blues, it's David Villegas making his second appearance, first start of the summer. The Cal Bakersfield right-hander will deal here to Greg Pace to start the game. Pace takes a fastball a little bit low below the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Villegas stands 6 foot 160 pounds. Had a tough outing his last time out in relief, as he's one of these new pitchers that the Blues have brought on. But now he makes his first start, the most important game of the summer, and he deals a strike at the bottom of the zone this time, 1-1. Greg Pace, the center fielder from Michigan, a .206 average, 4 home runs, 11 runs batted in. So he takes outside here, 2-1. The problem for Villegas his first time out for the Blues was throwing strikes. So SLO is relying on him here in a massive game to be able to find the strike zone. 2-1 he does here, and Pace fouls it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pace has 3 home runs in his last 6 games, including the game-winning homer that put the Foresters up 4-3 over the Conejo Oaks. So the Blues should be thanking him for the way his yesterday went. But now it's a different story. Blues and Foresters here on the final day of the season. 2-2. Pace takes the slider high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. But really one of the biggest tears of the summer for one of the most dangerous hitters in the league. Pace, who has home run power, we've seen it all season, just hasn't fully brought it home yet. As he walks now, he's aboard with nobody out. So not a guy that the Blues want to see getting hot before this game, but Pace is aboard yet again, and he gives way to Jalen Flores, the shortstop from Texas. Really, this entire Foresters offense is hot. Really the reason that they beat the Conejo Oaks in that 3-game series, swept them across all 3 games, home and away. Flores a big part of that as well, as he has come on down the stretch of this league summer. Shortstop from Texas, hitting .271. So he takes a fastball low here, 1 ball and no strikes. 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in for the shortstop from Texas. He's 9 for his last 21 at the plate, with 2 3-hit games in the last week. Pick back to first, and diving back in there is Pace. Pace has 8 stolen bases on 11 tries so far this summer. Villegas smart to look over his way. 1-0 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Villegas another pick, and Pace doesn't need a dive back this time. He's in standing. The Blues righty comes set. 1-0 the count. He kicks and deals. Pace on the move, and a fly ball into right field. Down the line, Jason Hansen chases it down the line, and he makes the catch through the tree in time for the out. Pace able to retreat back to the bag. Hansen, who had to spin around and make the catch behind his back, was able to find it and corral out number 1. So Pace was stealing on the pitch, and Flores just popped it up in foul territory. And Pace is able to get back to the bag, but still a runner at first, 1 away now. And Max Ballou will come up. Ballou, the right fielder from Texas, one of the league's best. A .331 average, 4 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Easily the Foresters' most productive hitter so far this season. Another pick back to first, and Pace dives in. Ballou, the team leader in hits and batting average, as well as runs batted in. Second in the CCL South, only to Reese Chapman from the Riptide in RBI. Another pick to first. Pace, again, a simple dive back. Ballou waiting on the first pitch. Villegas comes set, glove held at his belt. He kicks and fires, and Ballou takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Ballou, the 6 foot 295-pound sophomore from Texas, hit .300 across 15 games for the Longhorns. 2 runs batted in, had 6 hits, one of them a double across 20 at-bats. Taking here again, it's 2 balls and no strikes on a fastball that missed outside. It's a 2-0 count. Villegas sets again, another pick to first, and Pace, again, a simple dive back. It's not really been all that close on the pickoff attempts by Villegas, but got to be careful with a speedy runner like Pace. 2-0. Ballou, a big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. And in a game like this that is so important for the Blues, the definition of a must-win, each set of 90 feet matters more than ever. So got to be careful. Villegas kicks and deals. Baloo takes a fastball just above the belt for a strike, 2-2. Forrester's dugout doesn't like the call. It's 2 strikes now. The high strike being called on the big, tall, left-handed hitter. Another pick to first. Not even a dive by Pacey. Was just about a foot or 2 off the bag, and the simple retreat back. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 away here in the bottom of the first. Villegas delivers, and Baloo takes the fastball low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Will Rogers, the catcher from Arizona State, on deck. This murderer's row now of a Forrester's lineup that the Blues have handled well this season. Forrester's always on the verge of coming through. 2-2. Swing and a high fly ball into right center field. On his horse, Jariah Lewis goes back to the track. He is at the track, and he makes the catch. Crashes up into the national championship sign wall. And Pace has to retreat back to the bag. A long run for Lewis, but he gets out number 2. So Baloo sent it for a ride, just barely missed a home run in his first plate appearance. And he retreats back to the dugout. 2 outs now, still a runner at first in the bottom of the first inning. So here's Rogers, the Arizona State catcher, hitting .285 this season. 3 home runs, 1 of those against San Luis Obispo. 18 runs batted in for the tall right-hander. Blues have handled him with breaking balls this season. So we'll see if Villegas can spin it. So he spots a fastball up a little bit below the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Pace still leads off first. He walked to lead off the inning. Since then, the pop out and the fly out. Runner at first, 2 away. Villegas kicks and deals, and he misses high with a fastball, 2-0. It's really only been the fastball so far for Villegas, who is trying to find the command to work off of. 1 walk, he's fallen behind the next 2 hitters, but responded with outs. The 2-0 home, and Rogers tags it into the gap, and it bounces in front of the left fielder, Massiangelo, down the line. So it's a single for Rogers in a 2-0 count, first and second with 2 outs. Well, we've seen that Rogers has not been able to pick up the spin of certain sliders from the Blues, but he has hammered fastballs. And Villegas, who's throwing nothing but the heat so far here in the first, gets tagged for a single. And now an RBI opportunity for Ryan Black, the UT Arlington second baseman, who's knocked in 15 this season. .228 average, 1 home run. First hit for the Forresters. Now they have Pace at second, Rogers at first. Left-hander Ryan Black steps into the middle of the box. Villegas looks back to the bag at second. Now he kicks and fires. And a fastball low all the way to the backstop as it leapfrogged off the mound. And Black's trying to say it hit his foot. And I guess the umpire is ruling that he wants to see the umpires to talk about this. But Ryan Black immediately took off the gear, started running down to first base. He adamant that the ball hit him, and now the umpires will check. From here, it didn't look like it hit off his foot. It looked like it hit the plate and trampolined over the head of Galloway. And now they make Black go back to second. Or back to the plate, rather. So a nice acting attempt there from Ryan Black to try and get the hit by pitch. The runners do advance, though, second and third with 2 away. Black has to re-strap on the gear, puts the batting gloves on, the elbow protector, as well as the shin guard. Tried to work his way to first on a hit by pitch, and now he has to go grab his bat. We have a score update from Sparky Anderson Field. The Conejo Oaks and the Academy Barons in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Barons now lead by a score of 4-3. They have brought one across in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So a 4-3 lead for the Barons. As we mentioned earlier today, the Blues need a Barons win over the Oaks, as well as a win here today over the Foresters. Doesn't matter if it's one or the other, they need both. And at least so far, the Barons doing their job. Villegas trying to escape here in the bottom of the first. 2 runners aboard, both in scoring position. 2 outs here in the first. A 1-0 count. Ryan Black still at the plate. As Villegas sets just above the belt, the righty kicks and deals. And Black swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's Pace at third, Rogers at second. Here in the first inning from Pershing Park. Runners off the bags. A 1-1 offering. and Black takes the fastball high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Villegas sets his 2-1 offering. Black takes it low for a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike. So we've seen more high strikes today than low. Galloway did his best to try and stick that one for strike 2, but instead of 3-1 count, the dangerous hitter Daniel Patterson waiting on deck. Villegas from the belt, kicks and fires, and Black hits a ball into the left center field gap. Long run for Lewis, but it stays in the park, and he makes the catch. Villegas escapes the first, strands 2 runners aboard. We're heading to the second here, a still scoreless game on the SLO Blues streaming network. We welcome you back to Pershing Park here in Santa Barbara. Top of the second inning. Scoreless here between the Blues and the Foresters as San Luis Obispo searches for a win to hopefully find their way into the playoffs here late in the season. They'll have 4-5-6 here against Carson Turnquist after a 1-2-3 first inning. Zach Tollerman, Sam DiCarlo, and Jason Hansen. Here it's Tollerman, the DH in the transfer portal. Takes the first pitch fastball on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Tollerman hitting 179 with 3 runs batted in. Had an 11-day break with an injury, but had a hit yesterday in his first game back. Here he flies one in the air towards left field. Rylan Galvan, the left fielder, backs up a step and makes the catch with 2 hands for the first out. So with 1 away, Sam DiCarlo will come to the plate. Tollerman retired here in the second pitch he sees at Pershing Park. Heading to the top of the 5th inning, it is a 4-3 Barons lead. The Academy holding up their end of the bargain here on what needs to be a perfect day for the Blues if they want to make the postseason. SLO's going to have to figure out one of the hardest pitchers to hit in the league, Carson Turnquist. Sam DiCarlo, the third baseman from Washington, hitting .231 this season as he takes a fastball on the outside corner 0-1. 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in for DiCarlo. One of those homers came yesterday in the first game of the doubleheader. Turnquist sets above the belt. He deals 0-1. And DiCarlo lines it straight back foul. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. The blast for DiCarlo traveled 395 feet past that left center field fence at Sinsheimer Stadium. Hit it 96 off the bat, and it just took off once it got up into the wind. It was the first run the Blues scored in that first game. They ended up losing 5-3 in 7 innings. The 0-2 here from Turnquist, and DiCarlo takes the slider low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. DiCarlo 18 hits and 78 at-bats, 4 of them for extra bases, 2 doubles, the 2 homers, 12 runs batted in, second on the team. 1-2 home, and DiCarlo taps it back into the glove of Rogers, and he strikes out swinging. So the third strikeout from Turnquist. Now there's 2 away here in the second. With 2 away, Jason Hansen will come to the dish. The first baseman from UC Davis hitting .263 so far this summer. 7 runs batted in. Hansen 1 for his last 13. He only hit the game-winning RBI single the first game against the Riptide. Takes a slider on the outside corner here for a strike, 0-1. So trying to find that swing that helped him raise his average above 300 at one point. Now it's back down in the 260s. Blues would love to get him going this last game. So he swings and misses at the fastball, 0-2. Defense in the outfield specifically plays Hansen to go the opposite way with the overpowering fastball from Turnquist, who needs just 1 more strike here to end the second. He delivers, and Hansen takes the fastball high, 1-2. Hansen not an easy hitter to strike out, 11 Ks in 17 games so far. Turnquist's already 4 on the day. 1-2. And Hansen takes the slider low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jason Hansen trying to reach for Jacob Galloway, who's on deck. The 2-2 home. And Hansen takes the slider outside, and the count moves full. So from 0-2 to 3-2, Hansen a chance here to reach and be the Blues' first base runner here in the top of the second. Turnquist sets above the belt. The right-hander fires, and he misses high with a fastball. So 4 straight balls for Jason Hansen, who takes first base, the Blues' first base runner. Runner aboard with 2 away, and Jacob Galloway will come up.
37, Jacob Galloway.
Galloway hitting just .095 so far here on the summer. He's got 2 hits and 21 at-bats. 2 of those hits, though, doubles. So still looking for his first single of the summer, which is crazy to say, considering he hit .365 at USC. Has knocked in 1 and walked 6 times. Turnquist from the stretch, kicks and fires, and Galloway late on the fastball. It's 0-1. Galloway took over down the stretch of the season for the Trojans at catcher. Started the 20 of the last 23 games and had the highest batting average on the team over that stretch, but is struggling here so far this summer. And he's coming off sickness here today. First game in quite a bit. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hansen leads at first. Galloway, the left-handed hitting catcher, looking to keep the 2-out rally going here in the second. Turnquist delivers, and Galloway swings and misses at the breaker. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hansen's 1 for 2 on stolen base attempts so far this summer. Would not expect the Blues to run too much here today. They need all the base runners they can get against a filthy arm. After a long pause, the 1-2 home. And Galloway takes the fastball inside, whizzed past his knees for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're here in the top of the second inning at Pershing Park. A must-win game and the season finale here for the Blues. Galloway looking to shake off the rust, reach here in the second inning as he awaits the 2-2. Here it comes, and he hammers it deep down the right field line. The right fielder Blue over towards the line, and he can't make the catch. Bounces over the wall. And it's a ground rule double, and that's a hard break for the Blues. Hansen running all the way around, would have scored, but he's got to return back to the third base bag as the ball, I don't know if it went under the wall or bounced over, but Ballou threw his hands up, and almost an RBI for Jacob Galloway. It's his 3rd double of the season, 2nd and 3rd with 2 away. And that is a tough break for the Blues. Runs are so hard to come by against Turnquist, and a ball that got by Ballou, the right fielder, and would have scored Hansen, takes the unlucky bounce, and now the Blues will need another hit to try and bring in a run. Nice swing there from Galloway in a 2-strike count. 2nd and 3rd now with 2 away. Here's Cody Darcy. Darcy, the shortstop from Arkansas State, 186 hitter this summer. Swings at a first pitch fastball, a little bit behind it. No balls and 1 strike. Darcy has a home run with 6 runs batted in. A tough day at the plate yesterday as he lost his 4-game hit streak and went 1 for 7 with 5 strikeouts. Hansen at 3rd, Galloway at 2nd. Scoring chance here for the Blues in the 2nd inning. Turnquist delivers, and Darcy rips it into left field, a base hit. In comes Hansen. Galloway will stop at 3rd. It's an RBI single for the Blues shortstop, and it's 1-0 San Luis Obispo. Well, Cody Darcy first at bat and just lasered it into left field, and so Hansen scores nonetheless, and now it's first and third with 2 away, and the Blues an early lead here on the road. Still 2 outs in the inning. The Blues have come across with a walk, a double, now an RBI single to score a run here against Turnquist in the first. Now an RBI opportunity for Darius Price, the 9-hole hitter, who's on a 4-game hit streak. Raised the average up now to 161 after his tough stretch. Darcy at first, Galloway at third, and Price takes the first pitch curveball high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. So Hansen's ability to draw the walk after falling behind 0-2 extended the inning, and back-to-back hits now for San Luis Obispo. A 1-0 lead. The 1-0 home, and Price takes high. 2 balls and no strikes. And now time is called. Rogers going out to talk with Turnquist. Unprecedented territory here for Carson Turnquist. The .35 ERA in 25 2/3 means the Blues now have already scored more runs in 2 innings than Turnquist normally allows across 9 frames. Rogers returns back behind home plate. A 2-0 count on Darius Price. The leadoff man Jacob Ruley waiting on deck. Turnquist kicks and deals. Price takes a fastball center cut for a strike. 2-1. That's a big hit for Cody Darcy, who really struggled yesterday hitting, and he's responsible. He was the one that was at the plate when the first game ended as he popped out to third. First at bat here already comes through with his 7th league run batted in. He takes his lead off first. Galloway at third. The 2-1 home, and Price takes the slider outside. 3-1. So Price looking to reach, continue this 2-out rally. Jacob Ruley, who hit a sharp line drive right to the shortstop Flores his first time, is on deck. Forsters play the infield straight up for Price. Outfield plays him to go the opposite way. 3-1, and Price hits a towering pop-up into shallow center. Out the shortstop Flores, still going out, and he makes the catch for the final out. Blues on the board first here at Bershing Park. An RBI single from Cody Darcy has it 1-0 Blues heading into the bottom of the second. Blues lead it here in the bottom of the second, a 1-0 lead over the Foresters, and Villegas goes back to work here against Daniel Patterson, the third baseman from Westmont, and Patterson promptly takes a curveball below the zone, 1 ball and no strikes. Patterson, who has regularly been the leadoff hitter when the Blues have seen the Foresters, bumped down the lineup a little bit. hitting 6th today. So he takes this fastball way high, and did it hit his helmet? It did. Patterson hit on the helmet. He'll take first base, a leadoff base runner here for the Foresters, looking to respond after SLO took the lead in the top half of this inning. The Blues, with 2 outs, got a walk from Hansen, a double from Galloway, and an RBI single from Cody Darcy to take the lead. Another hitter, or base runner rather, with speed for the Santa Barbara Foresters. Patterson is 11 of 15 on stolen base attempts, and the left-hander Rocco Garza-Gongora will come to the plate. Villegas works again from the stretch, and he picks to first. A low throw dug out there by Hansen, but Patterson back in safe. Rocco Garza-Gongora hitting .252, 7 runs batted in. By all accounts, he's the hottest Foresters hitter on a 10-game hit streak, where he's got 13 hits in those 10 games, including 3 doubles, 6 runs batted in. Even this bottom of the order, scorching hot for the Foresters. Patterson leads off first. Villegas comes home, and Garza-Gongora takes a fastball spotted up for a strike, 0-1. Garza-Gongora, the first baseman and center fielder as we've seen him so far this season, stands 6 foot, 275 pounds, from Laredo, Texas. So he swings here, and he's late on the fastball, 0-2. Garza-Gongora, one of the few players in this entire league that has played over 30 games. Here in the Foresters' 35th ball game, he's playing game number 32 on his season. 0-2, and he hits this one into the air towards left field. Long run for Masiangelo, and it falls for a base hit. The Blues left fielder cuts it off in the gap. Patterson into second, and Garza-Gongora's got another hit. Even when you're hot, you can fall behind 0-2 and pick up a base knock. Garza-Gongora extends his hit streak to 11 to end the regular season. And now it's first and second, nobody out, and Nate Voss will come up. Nate Voss, the DH from Michigan, a regular catcher for the Foresters, hitting .200 with 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Another RBI opportunity here. The Blues play the corners in, middle infield back, trying to turn a double play for the right-handed hitting DH. And Voss fists one into the hole towards short. Darcy the backhand, and he's got nowhere to throw it. Throws it past Sam DiCarlo. It bounces. It's another hit for the Foresters, and now it's bases loaded with nobody out. I didn't even get to talk about Voss. He's the 7-hole hitter, and he's also, or 8-hole hitter rather, and he's already got a hit as one of the hottest Foresters hitters as well. I guess we'll talk about his day a couple days ago the next time he comes up. But now a chance for a big inning for Santa Barbara. Bases loaded, nobody out. Rylan Galvan comes up. Galvan, a catcher as well, playing left field today. The Texas product, hitting .164 with 3 homers, 10 runs batted in. Villegas from the stretch, deals and misses low. A nice sliding block from Galloway. 1 ball and no strikes. So Villegas has to be careful. Every base filled up. Nowhere to put the Foresters. Needs to find a way to get 3 outs. Galvan, the Sinton, Texas native, playing for the local Longhorns. 6 foot, 180-pound catcher. Here's the 1-0 offering. Galvan flies it in the air, deep to center field. Jariah Lewis ranges to his left into the gap, still going back, right in front of the track. He makes the catch. Tagging up from third and scoring Daniel Patterson. A tie game on the sacrifice fly. It's 1-1. So Galvan, a deep fly ball, basically to the deepest part of the yard, and just got it to the track, but picks up the sacrifice fly. RBI number 11 as he knocks in Patterson. Garza-Gongora also advanced to third, so now it's runners at the corners with 1 away. And a game that is now tied. Here comes the top of the order in Greg Pace. So back to a tie game. Both teams have scored here in the second. The Foresters looking to add some more. Runners at first and third. Greg Pace up, just 1 out. And Pace takes a fastball outside. Late steal attempt from Nate Voss, and he takes second. Galloway went with a pump fake to second base, and Voss gets his first steal of the summer. Second and third now with 1 out, and the Blues will bring the infield in. Everyone in on the infield grass. Second and third, 1 out. Villegas kicks and deals 1-0, and Pace hammers one into left field, falling for a base hit. Here to score is Rocco Garza-Gongora. Over to third, Nate Voss. Forsters station to station hitting, and it's 2-1. So the Blues have not only given up the lead, they now trail by a score of 2-1. And we're back to a runners at the corner situation with 1 away. Third hit now in the inning after the inning started with a hit by pitch. The only out, the sacrifice fly from Rylan Galvan. And Jalen Flores, the shortstop from Texas, a chance to add on more. Pace leads off first. Now it's Garza Gongora who has scored, and Voss at third. And Pace running a foul off the bat of Jalen Flores. No balls and one strike. Flores, the shortstop from Texas, popped out in foul territory to Jason Hansen at first base his first time up. The Texas shortstop is now 9 for 22 at the plate across his last handful of games. Looking for his first hit today, or at least to bring in Nate Voss from third. Villegas sets above the belt. His 0-1 home. And a swing and a miss from Flores. No balls and two strikes. Big strikeout spot here for Villegas, especially assuming that Pace may run again from first. The CSU Bakersfield right-hander yet to strike out a Forester. The 0-2 home, Pace on the move, and Flores dribbles it foul backwards. Still no balls and two strikes. 2 runs across here for the Foresters, who now lead it by a score of 2-1. It's Voss at third, Pace at first for Santa Barbara. Flores steps back into the box. Still an 0-2 count with runners at the corners and one away. A pick goes to first, and Pace is back in standing. Another 0-2. And Flores takes the fastball high. Thought about going around, but holds back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Corners are still playing in for the Blues. Sam DiCarlo is even with his bag at third. Middle infield, playing double play depth. It's Darcy at short, Price at second, looking to turn a double play. Another pick to first, Pace back in standing. And in a must-win game for SLO, they got the lead in the top half of this inning, and now the Foresters, having already taken a lead 2-1, threaten for more. Here's the 1-2. Flores takes the curveball high, ball 2. Flores hit 175 across nearly 30 starts at Texas this past year. Did hit 4 home runs and 23 runs batted in, but in 103 at-bats only managed 18 hits. A much better summer here as he's raising his average towards 300. Pace takes off the pitch all the way to the backstop, and here comes Nate Voss. He slides in safe. It's 3-1. So the count moves full. The Foresters add another run. Pace to second, and Villegas just sailed the fastball way over the head of Galloway. Another run for Santa Barbara, and the full count now on Jalen Flores. We mentioned those 90-foot mistakes, so important here today. And as of right now, the Blues have committed more than Santa Barbara. Foresters 3 runs here now in the bottom of the second inning, still just 1 away. (3-2) now, and Flores strikes out swinging. So Villegas gets his first strikeout. That's out number 2 here. And now with 2 away, a runner at second, the batter will be Max Ballou. Ballou, the Texas right fielder, hit a deep fly ball to right center field. It chased Jariah Lewis all the way back to the track and nearly to the wall. It was eventually caught there, but sent it for a ride. Clearly saw Villegas well his first time. And now an RBI opportunity for Ballou, who leads the team with 20. So he takes a fastball here low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. So Ballou 0 for 1 today, still the team leader in hits and batting average. A hit here would add to another run with Pace's speed at second. Villegas steals, and another pitch low. 2 balls and no strikes. Villegas set just above the belt. The right-hander deals, and Ballou takes inside. 3 balls and no strikes. Only 1 walk so far for Villegas. That was to Greg Pace as the first batter of the game. He has hit a batter in this inning to start the frame, and he threw that wild pitch that allowed the run to score. 3-0, and Ballou pops it up foul. Got his ace swing off on a fastball, but couldn't keep it fair. 3-1. Foresters chirp at Villegas from their third base dugout. Having scored 3 runs here in the inning, they threaten for more. Greg Pace, the runner at second, with 2 away. Villegas stares in for his sign, and now comes set. His 3-1 offering. Ballou pops it up, down the left field line, hooking out a play over the light post behind the Foresters' dugout. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another 3-2 count here to the Santa Barbara Foresters. Flores struck out for out number 2, and now Ballou entrenched in the battle. And Villegas looking to end what has been a tough inning so far. Time is called. Galloway out to chat. Season finale for both of these teams. Means a lot more for the Blues. The Foresters have already clinched the regular season championship in the CCL South. They will not be participating in the CCL playoffs. They will instead head to Wichita for the NBC World Championships on Tuesday. They play their first game on Friday, so really for them this is just their last tune-up game. But I think they know it's a chance to keep the SLO Blues out of the playoffs, and they have showed up to the task here in the second inning. 3-2 the count on Ballou as Villegas set just above the belt. He kicks and fires, and Ballou hits a rocket into right, another base hit. Down the line as Ruli's over to grab it. Coming in to score is Greg Pace. He scores with ease. It's a hit for Ballou, and it's 4-1. So Ballou wins the battle, tacks on another, and now a 3-run deficit for the Blues, and Will Rogers will bat. 4th hit now in the inning, 4 singles, as well as the sacrifice fly and the hit by pitch. And Villegas has not only given up the Blues lead, Santa Barbara has tacked on 4 runs, and they're not done. Villegas still out. Will Rogers, the catcher from Arizona State, hit a hot shot into left his first time up. He's 1 for 1. First pitch swinging here. He bounces it on the ground towards the right side. Darius Price corrals it and throws on to first in time for the out. A 4-run inning for the Foresters, and the Blues now trail it by 3 heading to the 3rd inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. Still a long way to go, but the Blues have to respond. A 4-run second inning for Santa Barbara, and now the Blues bring the top of the order back up, trailing it by 3. Jacob Rulli, Matt Massiangelo, Jariah Lewis. To lead things off here against Carson Turnquist, the Oklahoma righty deals, and Rulli takes a fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Rulli hit a sharp line drive to short his first time up, but he hit it right at Jalen Flores and was retired to start the game. 1-0. Here Rulli pops it up. Left side of the infield, Flores in again. He makes the easy play, camps under it, and makes the catch. So 1 away here in the 3rd. Matt Massiangelo will come to the plate.
Left fielder, number 38.
If the Blues can somehow find a way to come back in this game now, they might have a chance to make the playoffs. The Academy Barons leading right now over the Conejo Oaks 5-3 in the top of the 6th inning. 2 outs in the frame as the Barons have scored another. So the Barons holding up their end of the bargain in this potential perfect playoff day for the Blues. But SLO now trailing by 3 against the Foresters. Here's Matt Massiangelo, who struck out looking his first time. He swings and lifts 1 foul. Rogers, the catcher, chases it back to the screen and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Carson Turnquist has 3 strikeouts through the first now 2 1/3 innings. Gave up the run in the second. All with 2 outs, the Blues got a walk, a double, and a single to score the run, but then the 4-run bottom half of the frame for Santa Barbara. 0-1. Massiangelo lines it right back off the catcher, Rogers. No balls and 2 strikes. So if anything's clear here today, it's that the Blues offense will need to get things done in order to win. They now trail it by 3, and after struggling in the series against the Riptide, going to have to reemerge here on the final day of the summer. 0-2. Pitch is high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Blues only managed a couple of hits across the 2 games yesterday. In 16 innings, they struck out 28 times, and they only had 5 combined hits. Trying to break the spell here against Santa Barbara as Massiangelo dribbles this towards the right side. Garza-Gongora plays it off his body, and he's got no play. So the normal sure-handed first baseman has it rocket up towards his chest. He's able to keep it in front, but Massiangelo reaches on the error. Runner at first with 1 away.
Number 30, Jariah Lewis.
So here's Jariah Lewis with a runner aboard. Massiangelo on base after the error by Garza-Gongora. Runner at first with 1 away. And Jariah Lewis, who struck out his first time up, comes up for the second time. Turnquist from the stretch, looks to first, now brings it home. And it misses way high and over the head of the catcher, Rogers, and all the way to the backstop. Massiangelo heads on to second. It's a wild pitch from Turnquist. Now it's a runner in scoring position with 1 away. Back-to-back miscues here for the Foresters. An RBI opportunity now for Jariah Lewis. The Blues center fielder has 9 on the season to go with 2 home runs, an average that is now dipped below 200. Turnquist a long look in, looking for his sign as he shakes, and now time is called by Lewis. A 1-0 count, 1 away here in a 4-1 game. The 1-0 home. Lewis swings and misses at a high fastball. 1-1 the count. Jariah now 1 for his last 14 at the plate. Mentioned his average below 200. The first time it's been there since the last Blues and Foresters series on July 7th. Turnquist deals 1-1. And Lewis swings to the curveball, lines it down the right field line. Just foul. Just past the outstretched glove of Garza-Gongora as Lewis was thinking 3 off the bat, but it falls about a foot or 2 past that first base line. A 1 ball, 2 strike count. So now Lewis trying to battle up with 2 strikes. No choke up for the center fielder from San Jose State. The lefty stands in the back of the box, awaiting the 1-2. Here he comes. And Lewis checks his swing and taps it back into the glove of Rogers for the second time. Second strikeout for Lewis, and now there's 2 away.
Home games are brought to you by Lee & Sons, Plumbing and Heating. Now batting.
Here's Zach Tollerman now with 2 away. Still a runner in scoring position is Massiangelo at second. Tollerman, the DH, flew out to left his first time up. That started that second inning. Turnquist needs 1 more out to work another scoreless frame. We've got the Foresters back up to bat against Villegas. Top of the third, 2 away. Turnquist aims and fires, and Tollerman takes a curveball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Sun right above Pershing Park. Top of the third inning. Turnquist looks to second. Now he brings it home. And Tollerman takes a fastball outside. Back pick attempt, and Massiangelo's picked off. The second baseman, Black, throws high, and Massiangelo dives into third. Massiangelo was running off the bag, and the catcher Rogers decided to throw behind him to second, and Massiangelo just kept running, and he ends up stealing third. 2 balls and no strikes, and the Blues now have a runner 90 feet away. Stolen base number 7 on the season for Massiangelo, who's a bit stirred up as he came crashing into the bag on a headfirst slide. Picks up his helmet, puts it back on, and he stands 90 feet away from the Blues scoring another run. An RBI opportunity here for Tollerman, who's got 3 on the season. Rogers a strong throw to second, but the problem was there was no one there. Massiangelo was off to third, and he steals the base. The 2-0 offering. Tollerman takes the fastball high. 3 balls and no strikes. If Tollerman's able to reach here with 2 away, Sam DiCarlo will come up. Massiangelo at third, 2 outs. Turnquist kicks and deals, and Tollerman swings and misses. 3-1. Well, count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So it's been changed here on the scoreboard at Pershing Park. 2-2 the count on Tollerman. And here's the 2-strike offering. And that pitch off the outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Not sure which one was changed to a ball or which one that the umpire threw up the wrong count on. And Tollerman seemed confused as well. I think he thought he was in a 3-0 count when he was swinging. But now the count is full. Massiangelo leads off third. Turnquist comes set. Now he deals. And Tollerman hits a high fly ball, deep left center field, ranging over Greg Pace, and he puts his glove up to make the running catch. Hat flies off, Pace collects out number 3, and the Blues are held off the board. Tollerman a nice swing, but nothing to show for it. We head to the bottom of the third. Still a 4-1 game on the SLO Blues streaming network. Blues have headed back to the bullpen. Villegas is done after 2 innings, and it's JT Ricken who takes over here in the third. We've talked all season, especially down the stretch, the Blues thin on pitching depth, but we've never seen this. A position player into the game, a must-win season finale in the 3rd inning. And JT Ricken, who got the save against the Saints a couple days ago, is back on the hill. Trainer playing with fire as Ryan Black will lead things off, and a fastball misses high, 1-0. Right now, with the Barons up on the Oaks, if they're able to hold on there, a win would send the Blues to the postseason. They trail it by 3, and in the 3rd inning, they've got a position player on the hill. Fastball here to Black, a 1-1 count. Ricken, when he's been on the mound so far this season, which has been just a couple of times, he's been good. Fastball into breaking ball, but eventually the Blues' luck with position players set to run out, and they're testing it here early as Black hit on the foot, and he'll take a walk. So Black, who thought he was hit his first time up and did not get the call, takes first base on a hit by pitch here. A hit by pitch also started the 2nd inning, where the Forsters scored 4 runs. It was to Daniel Patterson, who steps up to the plate now. Patterson had that hit by pitch, came across to score the first of the 4 runs in the 2nd inning. So Ricken, who was a regular third baseman here this season for the Blues, played outfield in his high school career. Non-rostered his first season at Oregon, and he's in the transfer portal. Pitching here in a must-win season finale game in the third inning. Rickon toes the hill from the stretch. He'll look in at Daniel Patterson, 281 hitter with 2 home runs. 11 runs batted in. Rickon delivers, and Patterson takes a slider for a strike. It's 0-1. Ryan Black will lead off first base. A 4-1 lead here for Santa Barbara in the bottom of the third inning. Black 7 for 9 on stolen base attempts. So he gets off the bag, and Patterson hits a high pop-up. Shallow left. Cody Darcy, the shortstop, calls everyone off, ranges onto the outfield grass, and makes the catch. So Patterson down for the first time in his second at-bat, and now Raka Garza-Gongora comes up, 1 away with a runner at first. Garza-Gongora hit a single in the second inning, eventually came around to score the second of those 4 runs. He has extended his season-long hitting streak to 11 games here to close out league play. 35th and final game for both these teams in the CCL. Curveball misses here outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So Garza-Gongora has that average coming up towards 260 across this hard stretch. Also has 7 runs batted in. Taking here again, a late steal attempt from Ryan Black. The throw from Galloway. They got him. So Black thrown out for just the 3rd time this season as he tried to catch Jacob Galloway lacking, and the USC catcher having none of it. 2 away now in the 3rd. So now all of a sudden 2 quick outs here in the 3rd inning, and Rickon can go at Garza-Gongora with the bases empty. Rickon back from the windup, 2 outs now in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the 1-0. Garza-Gongora takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Two 2 away here in the 3rd inning. And Garza-Gongora, the Oklahoma first baseman, at the plate. Here's the 2-0 offering, and Garza-Gongora attacks and fouls it straight back. 2-1. Another count change. The umpire, I guess, ruled that the pitch on the stolen base is a strike, so it's 1-2 the count. Rickon a strike away from ending the 3rd. Into his windup, he delivers, and Garza-Gongora pops it up foul again. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Garza-Gongora played in 51 games at Oklahoma this past year. Hit .293 as a freshman. 3 home runs, 27 runs batted in. The 1-2 offering from Rickon. And Garza-Gongora bounces it on the ground to the right side. Darius Price over to his left on the outfield grass. He stands up and makes the throw. A 1-2-3 frame for JT Rickon and a little help from his catcher. We're heading to the 4th, a still 4-1 game here on the SLO Blues streaming network. One-third of the way through this game, it's a 4-1 Foresters lead, and the SLO offense coming back to the plate. Sam DiCarlo, Jason Hansen, Jacob Galloway due up here against Carson Turnquist. A 4-1 lead for SB, And Sam DiCarlo, who struck out his first time, will lead things off. Turnquist from the stretch delivers, and DiCarlo takes a belt-high fastball for a ball. No balls and 1 strike. SLO scored 1 in the second. The Forcers responded with 4. Both teams scoreless in the third. And here we are, top 4. Turnquist kicks and deals. DiCarlo takes the same pitch. This one's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. So DiCarlo steps back out of the box. A nice game in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday as he launched a home run to left. And looking to keep the cool hack going here in the season finale, at least the regular season. 1-1. DiCarlo takes the curveball high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 home. And DiCarlo takes a fastball just below the letters, ball 3. The Blues will take base runners in any way possible, especially against Turnquist. They're hard to come by, and so are runs, but the Blues have already scored 1, and they'd love to chase the Oklahoma right-hander out of this game as quickly as possible. 3-1. Fastball down the middle, and DiCarlo pops it up. First base side and out of play. 3-2 the count. DiCarlo, with his strikeout his first time up, is now up to 30 strikeouts in his 22nd game, and that's 25 strikeouts in the month of July. He's had problems with the K, but when he puts the ball in play, hits it hard. Had that homer yesterday. 3-2 count here to start the 4th. Here's the payoff pitch, and DiCarlo lines it straight back foul. Count still full. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff batter here in the 4th. Turnquist set above the belt. The righty collects himself, brings it home, and he struck him out. A fastball in the outside corner catches DiCarlo looking, and there's 1 away here in the 4th.
Strikeout. Now batting the Blues.
So here's Jason Hansen, the first baseman from UC Davis. Hansen started the 2-out rally that put the run on the board for the Blues, and his last time up, walked and then scored in the second. Turnquist's first pitch. Hansen takes it off the inside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. Top side of the 4th, a 4-1 lead for the Foresters. Season finale on the road here for the Blues. Here's the 1-0. Hansen takes a big curveball in there for strike 1, and the count evens up. Hansen now up to 11 walks and 18 league games. But at the plate, 1 for his last 13. He takes inside yet again, 2 balls and 1 strike. Hansen had that huge hit in the first game against the Riptide over the weekend. That was back on Friday when he singled in a run in the 7th inning to put the Blues on top for good. So here he lifts this one foul back now to play, 2-2. The only hit, though, across his last 13 official at-bats. Turnquist 2-2. Hansen lifts it in the air. Shallow center. The shortstop Flores backs up. He continues to backpedal, and he makes the catch. So 2 away now in the inning, and Jacob Galloway will come up again. Galloway had the big hit in the second inning. Hit a double off the wall, and unfortunately for the Blues, it took a bounce over the fence out in deep right. That moved Hansen to third. They were able to get in the run on the RBI single from Cody Darcy, but the third hit for Jacob Galloway this summer, his 3rd double, and he's 1 for 1. Swinging here, he's belayed on the fastball. No balls and 1 strike. 2 away here, top 4, 4-1 game. Jacob Galloway, the USC catcher, hitting now above 100, comes up for the 2nd time. The 0-1 offering. Galloway takes a fastball just off the plate outside, 1-1. Turnquist sets. Tan glove held just above his navy belt. His 1-1 home, and Galloway bounces it foul down the third base line. It kicks around a little bit, but stays foul, 1-2. The Barons and the Oaks headed to the top of the 7th inning. Still a 5-3 Academy lead. The Oaks had the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th, trailing by 2, and did not score. They popped out twice in a row to end that inning, so the Academy stays in front. Here's the 1-2 from Turnquist, and he misses low with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Galloway, a hard hitter to strike out. Just 5 Ks so far across 21 league at-bats. Struck out a total of just 8 times in 63 at-bats at USC. 2-2. Takes low here with a curveball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Blues would love to recreate that 2-out rally in the second inning. Right around this spot of the order, they got the walk with 2 outs and eventually scored the 1 run. Cody Darcy wants a chance to hit on deck. 3-2. Galloway takes low and draws the walk. So Jacob Galloway, fresh off of a little bit of an illness, has been on base twice. He's at first with 2 away, and now Cody Darcy comes up. Cody Darcy, the shortstop from Arkansas State, had that RBI single his first time up. Knocked in Hansen from third with a single into left field. Second plate appearance here for the 6th-year collegiate player, 2nd-year Blue. And even count as Galloway leads off first. Turnquist delivers, and Darcy lines it straight back. No balls and 1 strike. Beautiful day here in Santa Barbara. Was slightly humid, but the clouds have evaporated slightly. Temperature in the low 80s, and the humidity has worn off a little bit. Sunshine right overhead and a blue sky. The 0-1 home. Darcy swings and taps it foul back into the Foresters' dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. Darcy has been named as the beer batter today by the Santa Barbara Foresters. So the Foresters faithful really would like a strikeout here. They get free beer certificates. And 0-2 count here on Darcy. Carson Turnquist so far through 3 2/3 has 5 Ks. His 0-2 offering. Darcy takes the curveball low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Turnquist sets just underneath the Foresters script across the front of his jersey. He deals, and Darcy bounces it on the ground. Right side, the first baseman Garza Gongora well off the bag. He tosses to Turnquist, who beats Darcy to the first base bag. So that's the 3rd out here in the 4th inning. We're heading to the bottom half of the frame. So a 4-1 lead for Santa Barbara. Eight 9-1 due up for the Foresters here in the bottom of the 4th. It's still JT Ricken on the hill, and he faces Nate Voss to start things off. The DH takes inside with the fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Voss, the DH from Michigan, singled, knocked in a run in the second, then came around to score the third of the 4 runs. And here he lines one down the left field line, and it falls for a base hit. Mastiangelo over to cut things off near the line. As Voss takes a big turn around the bag, he'll head back there. So it's a single to lead off the frame for the DH from Michigan. First hit allowed by JT Ricken. The Blues position player pitcher pitched the 3rd inning. Eventually got a 1-2-3 inning because Jacob Galloway threw out a runner at second. But the former Oregon Duck now works with a runner at first, nobody out. The batter now will be Rylan Galvan. Ricken from the stretch deals a fastball past Galvan on the swing and miss. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Runner Nate Voss leads off first. Had his first stolen base earlier today. As this one's bounced on the ground to short. Cody Darcy runs in, goes to second for 1. The relay throw from Price. Not quite in time at first. It's a fielder's choice. So the Blues get the lead runner. Voss is out of the second base bag. And now it's a runner at first with 1 away. Nice play there from Darcy to still be able to get Voss at second. Had to come onto the infield grass and then spun around a little bit to his left to make the overhand throw. And with the leadoff hitter coming up, Blues keep the runner out of scoring position. Galvan is at first, 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Galvan grabs his lead. Pitch on the way. Pace squares to bunt and now takes a fastball at the bottom of the zone for a strike. 0-1. Greg Pace, the center fielder from Michigan, a leadoff hitter who's one of the hottest hitters in the league, has been on base twice today. A walk to start the game and a single back in the second. Here he swings 0-1, hits a towering shot straight to center. Jariah Lewis back at the wall. He looks up. It is gone. Greg Pace continues on his tear. That's home run number 4 in the last 7 games. And just like that, it's 6-1. Not a hotter hitter in the league right now than Greg Pace. The leadoff man is 2 for 2. He picks up another couple of RBI. His league-leading 5th home run in the CCL South.
Now batting, Forrester, shortstop, number 3.
So now the base is empty for Jalen Flores. 6-1 game here with 1 away in the 4th. Flores, the shortstop from Texas, is 0 for 2 today. He has popped out foul to first and struck out. He takes a high fastball here. 1 ball and no strikes. So the game falling out of reach here early for the Blues. A 6-1 deficit. SLO hasn't been able to get much done on offense. Ricken trying to keep this game as close as he can. This fastball misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. And right now, Greg Pace, a hard hitter to pitch to. 2-0. Flores takes low as well. 3 balls and no strikes. And Flores, no slouch either. Even though he's 0 for 2 today, still 9 for his last 23 at the plate. 2 3-hit games in the last week. Him and Pace at the top of the lineup doing damage across the CCL South. Flores takes a breaking ball here low. It's a 4-pitch walk. One away, the runner back at first. Now here is Max Ballou. Ballou has hit the ball very well today. Hit a deep fly ball to center, singled his last time up, and now Dean Traynor emerges from the dugout. And we'll see if that's the end of the day for Ricken. We've been told that there might be some more position players on the way here today. I'm not sure who else the Blues really have. They went to a 3rd baseman here in the 3rd inning, and now Traynor heads to the hill. And we'll see if that's the end of the day for Ricken. It would be the end of his regular season. Ricken, a big smile on his face. Traynor out there to talk to the entire infield as they've all drawn in on top of the hill to talk to their skipper. Runner at first, 1 away. Ricken gets a pat on the back from Dean Traynor. He's staying out in this game. Traynor heads back to the dugout. Max Ballou will come up, and he'll face Ricken. 1 away, runner at first. It's Flores who just drew the walk. 2 runs across here in the 4th inning for Santa Barbara. So Ballou, 1 for 2 today. Comes up with Flores leading off first. The 2 Texas teammates right in the heart of this order for the Foresters. And Ballou taps it foul. No balls and 1 strike. As we mentioned, Ballou just missed a homer his first time up. And then launched a single into the gap in left center. back in the second inning to pick up his team-leading 21st run batted in. Ricken from the stretch. Now the 0-1 home. It's in the dirt. A nice block by Galloway, who drops to both knees to keep it in front. 1-1. Ballou takes a fastball in the outside corner, 1-2. Ricken was a part of the Oregon Ducks recruiting class that was ranked 5th in the nation in 2022. One of the top prospects in the Pacific Northwest. Got injured, though, had to redshirt. I'm not sure this is where he'd imagined he'd be at the end of the summer, as Ballou rolls this one foul to keep the count 1-2. Pitching on the hill in the 4th inning in a must-win season finale for the Blues. I'm not sure it was on his bingo card. Blues play Ballou to pull. They've got the third baseman DeCarlo well off the bag down the third base line. Middle infield squeezes towards the second base bag, trying to turn a double play. Ricken's 1-2. Ballou swings and cues it foul down the left field line, and it bounces for a foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ricken missed some time with a foot injury earlier this summer. Came back, hit really well down the stretch of the season before a tough day yesterday. I think in total, he should be really happy with the way his summer went, especially dealing with the injury that he suffered in the fall. To be able to come back, make a full recovery, play pretty well here in the CCL. Ballou takes a curveball, strike 3 call. And add a strikeout here against the Foresters to his resume. There's 2 away in the 4th.
Now batting, Foresters.
Second strikeout for Blues pitching today. First for Ricken. And here comes Will Rogers, the catcher from Arizona State. Rogers singled in the first and then grounded out to second to end the second inning. Third at bat here for the Sun Devil catcher. Ricken sets at the belt. 2 outs here in the inning. Deals a curveball over the heart of the plate, 0-1. Now the 0-1 home. Rogers takes a fastball for a strike, 0-2. Rogers a tough day at the plate yesterday. Went 0 for 4 to lose his 7-game hit streak. Across those previous 7 games, he had 10 hits, a home run, and 7 runs batted in. Back starting a new hitting streak today, 1 for 2. The 0-2 offering, and Rogers hits a high fly ball deep to left field. Chasing it back, Mastiangelo still running. He looks up, and that one's gone too. Making up for the 0 for 4 day yesterday, Rogers launches a home run to left to put 2 more across for Santa Barbara. It's 8-1 on his second hit of the day. So 2 homers in the inning for Santa Barbara as Rogers crushes his 4th of the year. And now an 8-1 deficit. And it's early, but might be the end.
Second baseman, number 13, Ryan Black.
And a 0-2 count. Ricken hangs one, and Rogers punishes it. And now here's Ryan Black, the second baseman from UT Arlington, who takes a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Black lined out to center back in the first inning. Was hit by a pitch in the third. 0-1. Here he ropes one on the ground into the hole right side and into right field, a base hit. So another hit for Santa Barbara as Ryan Black gets his first of the day. Now he's at first with 2 away.
Now batting, Forrester, third baseman, number 8, Daniel Patterson.
Here's Daniel Patterson, the third baseman from Westmont. Patterson was hit by a pitch and scored to start the second. Popped out to short back in the third. First at bat here against Ricken. He takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. So another 4 runs in this inning for Santa Barbara. They now lead it 8-1 here at home. Pershing Park, home of Santa Barbara Community College, and the Foresters have made it their home this summer. And they are dominating here in the 4th inning. 8-1 the score here, a 2-0 count on Daniel Patterson with a runner at first and 2 away. Ricken from the belt, kicks and deals, and Patterson takes a curveball for a strike, 2-1. Patterson has at least 1 hit in 7 of his last 8 games. Still looking for his first today as he's been aboard once. Average up to 281. Here he takes a fastball again for a strike, 2-2. Patterson was a .267 hitter at Westmont this past year with 4 home runs and 18 runs batted in. .281 hitter this summer, 2 homers, 11 runs batted in. Pitch on the way. He takes the curveball outside, 3-2. A diving throw to first from Galloway, but back in there, Ryan Black. So a full count, still a runner at first, and 2 outs. Payoff from Ricken. Patterson hits a line drive into the glove of DiCarlo at third. It bounced, though. He throws low, and Hansen able to gobble it up at first in time for the out. 2 homers, 4 runs for the Foresters. And we head to the 5th, an 8-1 score here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Blues now trail it by 7 here in the top of the 5th inning. And a new pitcher into the game for the Foresters. It's the two-way player Michael Lombardi, who is in to face Darius Price, then the top of the order for the Blues. Right now the DH from Cal Poly Pomona takes a fastball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Lombardi from Tulane stands 6 foot 395 pounds. The right-hander so far in the league season, a 3.29 ERA across 13 2/3. Darius Price looks at a fastball across the letters for a strike, 1-1. 14 strikeouts, or rather 15 to 8 walks so far for Lombardi across those 13 2/3. Darius Price is at the plate, 0 for 1 with a pop out to short. Lombardi's 1-1. Price swings and hammers it deep into center. Ranging back, Greg Pace, still going back, and he makes the catch. A long run for the Michigan center fielder, but he catches up with the fly ball, and there's 1 away here in the 5th. Pace covers so much ground out there in center. If there was a worse defender for the Foresters in center field, it could be a completely different ball game. That's the second or third of those that Pace is caught up to at top speed. So now third plate appearance for Jacob Bruley, who has lined out to short and popped out to short. He's 0 for 2. Takes a high fastball here from Lombardi, 1 ball and no strikes. Blues had the 1-0 lead. They've since given up 8 unanswered runs. They trail at 8-1. 1-0 home. Bruley takes high with a fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. Bruley a hitter's count here with 1 out in the 5th inning as Lombardi sets. Now from the windup, he kicks and deals. Rulli pops it up again, heading back out of play over the first base side in foul territory. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Oaks have come across with 2 runs to tie things up in the bottom of the 7th against the Barons. Still going in that inning with 2 outs. It is 5-5. Fastball here on the inside corner for a strike, 2-2. So it would, at this point, really take a miracle for the Blues to make the playoffs. The Barons now tied with the Oaks in a game that the Blues need the Academy to win. The Blues will also need to perform their biggest comeback of the league season, down 8-1. Rulli takes the fastball low and the count moves full. Matt Massiangelo on deck. Massiangelo is 0 for 2. Here's the payoff pitch. Rulli strikes out swinging. Handcuffed with a fastball, and there's 2 away here in the 5th. So Lombardi 2 quick outs here in the 5th inning, and Matt Massiangelo will come up. The Blues left fielder struck out looking in the 1st and then reached on an error in the 3rd. Eventually made his way all the way to the 3rd base bag, but was stranded there. From the windup, a deep breath from Lombardi. He kicks and deals, and Massiangelo shoots it foul. No balls and 1 strike. Well, we mentioned the Oaks weren't done in the 7th. In the blink of an eye, they now lead the Academy Barons 6-5 Conejo. Still bottom of the 7th with 2 away. It was an RBI single from Christopher Wright to put the Oaks on top. The 0-1 offering. Massiangelo takes a fastball at the bottom of the zone. Strike 2 called. So Massiangelo trying to extend the game for inning for Jariah Lewis. An 8-1 lead here for Santa Barbara. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Lombardi nods for his sign. The righty into his windup, kicks and deals, and he misses low with a changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 home. Massiangelo pops it up foul. High effort from Lombardi, who grunted to throw that fastball. Just can't quite sneak it past the Blues left fielder. 1-2. Lombardi another deep breath and another 1-2. And Massiangelo strikes out swinging. So the strikeouts piling up here for Massiangelo after a very low strikeout total through his first handful of games. We're heading to the bottom of the 5th. Still an 8-1 lead for Santa Barbara. New inning, new position player on the hill for the Blues. Jason Hansen takes over from JT Ricken. And it looks like Matt Mastiangelo's taken over at first. So the Blues' first baseman heads to the hill here for the bottom of the fifth. An 8-1 lead for the Foresters. And Rocco Garza-Gongora tees off deep to center. Staying in the yard, though, as Jariah Lewis retreats back and makes the two-handed catch for out number 1. Well, the Foresters hit JT Ricken pretty hard. They launched 2 home runs last inning to take the 7-run lead. But a one-pitch one out here for Jason Hansen, and now he'll face Nate Voss. Hansen heading to UC Davis next year, a huge smile on his face with a chance to pitch here in the season finale. And it seems the white flag, if it hadn't already been, is being waved by Dean Traynor. Another position player into the game here in a must-win season finale. With the Oaks up as well, too, 6-5 on the Academy Barons, it seems as if the Blues' postseason hopes have fallen by the wayside. This curveball back to the backstop, 1 ball and 1 strike. Talked about the scenario. The Blues needed a win here today against Santa Barbara and an Oaks loss to the Barons in order to get back into the postseason. But they'll fall just a game short if they lose and the Oaks win. But right now it seems like that perfect storm they needed is far from the radar. 1-1 here on Nate Voss, and the DH from Michigan spoils it foul. 1-2 the count. Voss is 2 for 2. Singled and scored in the second. Singled and was thrown out on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Hansen stares in for his sign from Galloway, and now he comes set. Pitch on the way. Voss pops it up on the infield, the right side. Darius Price retreats back onto the outfield grass, and he makes the two-handed catch for round number 2. Defensive changes for the Blues, with Jason Hansen, the first baseman, moving on to the hill. The left fielder, Matt Mastiangelo, is now at first, and Jake Hicksonbaugh has entered the game, and he's in left.
Number 4, Rylan Galvan.
Here's Rylan Galvan, the 9-hole hitter. The left fielder from Texas has hit a sacrifice fly and reached on a fielder's choice and scored last inning. 0 for 2 day. He takes a curveball here low, 1 ball and no strikes. (1-0). Galvan takes a fastball in the outside corner. 1-1 the count. Galvan hit .226 this past year at Texas. The 6'1", 180-pound Sinton, Texas native had a nice freshman season for the Longhorns. So he takes another big curveball here. 2-1 the count. 4 homers, 19 runs batted in, as well as a double and a triple for Galvan at Texas. The applied movement science major, hitting 9th here for the Foresters, and he takes a fastball in the outside corner, 2-2. Galvan was the number 1 ranked catcher in Texas, the number 6 national ranked catcher coming out of Sinton High School. 2-2 here. He strikes out looking. Hansen with a 1-2-3 inning, and we are heading to the 6th. Still an 8-1 lead for Santa Barbara here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Heart of the order here for the Blues in the top of the 6th inning. 3-4-5, Jariah Lewis, Zach Tollerman, and Sam DiCarlo due up. An 8-1 deficit here for SLO in the season finale. And a game that is slowly slipping away from San Luis Obispo. They will try for a big offensive inning here against Michael Lombardi. Two-way player had a scoreless frame last inning, and he starts off Lewis with a fastball fouled away, 0-1. Lewis has struck out twice in today's game. Struck out looking to end the first against Turnquist, then struck out as he checked his swing and fouled it back into the glove of Rogers. 0-2 day. Lombardi kicks and deals, and Lewis takes the curveball low. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 home. Lewis takes high with the fastball, 2-1. So it's a tough game so far for the Blues, and one with the score where it is right now, it'll be tough for them to come back, especially against the strong Foresters pitching. And with the Oaks beating the Barons, playoffs seem a little far-fetched now unless SLO's able to make a miraculous turnaround here today as Lewis pops this one up. So I think it's fitting and best to reflect on some of the best moments of the season here in what now looks like it will be the last broadcast and last Blues game of the year. And one of the biggest memories from this season was showing up and seeing there was the new center fielder that came in for the Blues, Jariah Lewis, and his first game hit for the first 3 legs of the cycle in his first 3 at-bats, the 3 hardest legs. 0-2-2. He looks at a pitch outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Had the double and the triple and the homer through 3 at-bats. Well, the Blues didn't score enough runs, so he only got 4 plate appearances. And he came up pressing for the single to try and get the cycle, and he grounded out to the right side. But the most impressive debut by far for the Blues this year. Siri spoils it foul and pops it up towards the left side and out of play. The count's still full. And at that point, it was the first home run of the Blues season. So Lewis shows up in his first game, and it was almost as if he was saying, why are you guys waiting around to hit one over the fence? This is how you do it. And he put one out. He'll end, as of right now, as the team leader in home runs with 3 on the combined league and non-league summers. Payoff, and he pops this one up on the left side of the infield. The shortstop Flores back out on the outfield grass. He puts his glove up and makes the catch. Really, that's what I will remember Jariah Lewis for, is that debut was just unreal. We had no idea what to expect, and Jariah Lewis came up and shattered all expectations in his debut. So here's Jake Hicksenbaugh in the DH spot, so Zach Tollerman no longer in this game. Hicksenbaugh heading to Monterey Peninsula College next year. Takes a fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. So that's the end of the regular season for Zach Tollerman, who finished his day with 2 flyouts. Here's Hicksenbaugh, who's hitting 179 so far this year. He takes another fastball high, 2-0. And Hicksenbaugh showed up as well. One of the guys I remember that early appearance, he was just one of those last players on the roster, and being one of the high school players, got a couple of games here and there in the non-league season, but every time he'd come up, he'd get a hit. And then it was brought to our attention that he hit .543 in his senior year of high school, and through the non-league season, he basically matched that for the Blues. The bat-to-ball skills were really unmatched. 3-0, he takes a fastball down the middle for a strike. It's 3-1. Well, batting average has tailed off a little bit here in league play, but I'll always remember that Hicksenbaugh, when he showed up, just could do no wrong at the plate. Here he draws a walk. So that's the 7th walk drawn by Hicksenbaugh here in the league season. He's aboard now with 1 out in the 6th, and up comes Sam DiCarlo.
Third baseman, number 39, Sam DiCarlo.
So Hicksenbaugh aboard, runner at first with 1 out, an 8-1 game here in the top of the 6th. And Sam DiCarlo, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, steps up to the plate. The Blues' 3rd baseman today struck out swinging in the 2nd and looking in the 4th. Lombardi a quick pick to first, and Hicksenbaugh dives back in. Hicksenbaugh is 1 for 1 on stolen base attempts here in league play. First pitch to the at-bat. DiCarlo takes a fastball in the outside corner, 0-1. If Jariah Lewis had the most impressive debut, Sam DiCarlo had probably the second. In his first league game out in Thousand Oaks, he launched a home run that was the first of the league season for the Blues. And we knew he had that home run pedigree coming in from his freshman season at Washington, but a super impressive swing of the bat. And he homered again yesterday, one of the few players with multiple home runs this season. Here he takes a slider up high, 1-1. DeCarlo had 7 home runs and 33 runs batted in 49 starts at Washington. Most at-bats of any freshman at UW, and we even saw those home runs right before he joined the Blues in an NCAA regional game against Oral Roberts. But the home run power surged into his first game with the Blues, and here he's behind the count 1-2. The 2022 Moore League Co-Player of the Year is a senior at Millikan High School, succeeding in the Pacific Northwest. At Washington, he's had an up-and-down summer, but one that has leveled out to be a pretty solid summer with the Blues. 1-2 here with 1 out. Lombardi delivers, and DeCarlo bounces it on the ground to first, off the glove of Garza-Gongora, who spears it like an ice cream cone and eventually gets the ball to first base for the out. Garza-Gongora, thinking about turning 2, bobbled the initial retrieval, but was able to recollect and get the out at first. So now a runner at second and 2 outs in the inning on the fielder's choice from DeCarlo. And here comes Jason Hansen. So Jason Hansen, the pitcher now for the Blues, with the DH spot burned, will step up. Hansen has had 2 plate appearances today. He walked and scored the Blues' only run in the second, and then popped out to short in the fourth. Hicksenbaugh off the second base bag as Lombardi from the stretch kicks and fires. Hansen pops it up foul. No balls and 1 strike. A 1-1 the count. Lombardi looking for 1 more out here to end the 6th. The right-hander kicks and fires. Hansen pops it up again. No balls and 2 strikes. Jason Hansen trying to reach for Jacob Galloway, who's on deck. And the Blues don't want to go quietly here against the Foresters. They've got a runner in scoring position for the first time since the 3rd. Chance to bring him in here for Hansen to pick up league RBI number 8. Lombardi strides and shoots. Hansen takes the fastball low, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Lombardi set from the stretch. He kicks and fires. Hansen bounces it on the ground. A long run in for Patterson at third. He snares the short hop, and he can't collect it. He's got no play. So another error on defense for the Foresters. This time it's Patterson who can't come up with the dribbling ground ball. And now it's first and third with 2 away, and Jacob Galloway comes up.
Now batting the Blues. Catcher, number 37, Jacob Galloway.
Galloway so far today has doubled and walked. A nice day for the USC catcher, and what looks like it'll be his last game with the Blues, the season finale. Took him some time to get going here to really live up to the potential he had from his freshman season at USC, but a double in the second and a walk in the fourth. First and third with 2 away, and Galloway, first pitch swinging, launches one down the left field line. It falls for a base hit. Ricochets away from the third baseman, Gal Vaughn. And around second coming in to score, Jason Hansen getting the wave. No throw, and the Blues put on 2. Another hit for Galloway, who's got 4 doubles on 4 hits this summer, and it is 8-3. Well, it's nice to see in the season finale, Jacob Galloway is coming alive. 2 doubles, a walk. He's got 2 RBI now, and the Blues not going quietly here in the 6th inning. It's 8-3.
Darcy. Cheers for beer.
So now Cody Darcy with Jacob Galloway at second and 2 away. Darcy, the shortstop from Arkansas State, singled in the second and then grounded out to first base in the fourth. Lombardi still searching for that elusive third out here in the 6th. Stares in for his sign from Rogers, and now comes Seth. A quick look at Galloway at second. He brings it home. And Darcy takes a fastball off the plate outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 for 2 days so far for Darcy, who had a tough day at the plate yesterday, but bounced back in his first plate appearance today with an RBI single to left. Here he swings and wraps it on the ground past third base coach Steve Tully. 1 ball and 1 strike. Darcy was bounced around a couple of schools, started at Xavier, then went to UTSA, just played his 6th collegiate season at Arkansas State. We'll figure out after this game what's next in his baseball career. The second-year Blue has raised his average now above 200 on the summer, and he takes a curveball here for ball 2, 2-1. Darcy was selected by the Mets in the 39th round of the 2018 MLB draft out of high school. The long collegiate career, which may end today with this matchup between the Blues and Foresters. Swings here and taps it foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Lombardi needs 1 more strike here to end the 6th. The Blues 2 runs across on the 2 RBI double from Jacob Galloway. So an 8-3 score. Cody Darcy trying to extend the inning with Darius Price on deck. Lombardi steps off, wants to go through the signs yet again with the catcher Rogers. Shortstop from Arkansas State at the plate. Lombardi delivers. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Darcy tried to check his swing on the slider and goes down. And beer for the fans here in Santa Barbara. Blues get 2 on the RBI double from Jacob Galloway, heading to the bottom of the 6th. It's 8-3 on the SLO Blues streaming network. Home half of the 6th inning here at Pershing Park in Santa Barbara. An 8-3 lead now for the Foresters after the Blues added 2 more. Here's Jason Hansen pitching to Greg Pace, who rolls it on the ground. Backhanded by Darcy at third, and it's off his glove into left. Greg Pace stays hot. How about a 3-for-3 day with a walk? His second single to go with his home run that he hit in the 4th, and he's at first. So a leadoff single from the center fielder from Michigan, who continues to torch the CCL South over this past week. And he gives away to Jalen Flores, the shortstop from Texas. Flores is 0-for-2 with a walk. He popped out in foul territory to first in the first inning and then struck out in the second. Swing and a tap back into the glove of Galloway. It's Jason Hansen, the position player on the hill for the Blues, who worked a 1-2-3 fifth. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, a 5-run lead for the Foresters. Middle infield double play depth. And that slider at the bottom of the zone, 0-2. Greg Pace leads off first. Leadoff man has done wonderful things today for Santa Barbara. No threat to steal here, up by 5. Flores gets the big curveball and loops it into left. It falls in front of Hicksonbaugh, bounces off his body, and stops there for a hit. Back-to-back singles here open up the inning. So it's first and second with nobody out.
Now batting for the Foresters, right fielder, number 12, Matt Blue.
Here's Max Ballou, the right fielder from Texas, with 2 runners aboard, nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Ballou has a single, a flyout, and a strikeout. He's 1 for 3. And Galloway heads out to talk with Jason Hansen. Two runners aboard. Hansen comes set. Just underneath the letters, he deals. And Ballou hits a high towering fly ball deep to right. Ruley back to the wall, to the track. He makes the catch and loses his hat. Tagging up from second, Pace heads to third. Ballou missed another homer by a foot. And there's one away. Well, Ballou has hit, what is that, maybe 760 feet worth of outs. 2 deep flyouts to the track, and he just missed this one from Jason Hansen. But the fly ball moves Pace to third. Now it's runners at the corners with 1 away, and Will Rogers will come up. Rogers has a single and a homer, a 2 for 3 day so far for the Arizona State catcher. First time facing Hansen, and he pops this one up down the right field line. Out of play, 0-1. Pace is at third, Flores is at first here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 for 3 days so far for Rogers, trying to add to it. As Galloway sets up outside, Hansen kicks and deals, and Rogers takes a fastball off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hansen's 1-1. Rogers wraps it on the ground, foul down the third base line, way out ahead of the fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rogers at the plate, Ryan Black on deck. This top of the order, as well as the bottom, really has just dominated Blues pitching here today. What started as a must-win day for SLO has now turned into a position player pitching fest. The 1-2 on the way. Rogers gets the curveball and loops it into center. A long run for Jariah Lewis, who lets it fall for a base hit. Jogging in to score, Greg Pace on the way home. It is 9-3 on Rogers' 3rd hit of the day. And now the Blues trail it by 6.
Now batting, Forrester, second baseman, number 13.
3 singles here in the 6th inning, as well as the deep fly out from Ballou. First and second now with 1 away, and Ryan Black, the second baseman from UT Arlington, will come to the plate. Black lined out to center in the 1st, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and then singled in the 4th inning. First pitch from Hansen, and Black takes a breaking ball low. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, at the very least, a fun day here for the position players to get a chance to pitch, and it's kind of turned into a lighthearted game here in the season finale as Black attacks this one and pops it in the air to shallow right. Jacob Ruley comes in, loses his hat once again, but makes the catch with 1 hand for the 2nd out. Well, these guys probably will never get a chance to pitch at the collegiate level just because of how serious those games are and the regimen of the actual pitchers who go so much more often than guys here in summer ball, that here in front of a pretty nice Santa Barbara Foresters crowd, getting a chance to take the hill for an inning or 2. It was Rick in first after Villegas started the game. Now here Jason Hansen needs 1 more out to finish the bottom of the 6th. Daniel Patterson the batter, and he takes a fastball in the outside corner. 0-1. Patterson, one of just 2 hitters now in the lineup without a hit for the Foresters. The third baseman from Westmont's been hit by a pitch. He's popped out and he's grounded out. Takes another fastball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hansen sets below the letters. The 1-1 on the way. Patterson gets the curveball, fists it on the ground, 1 hop to Cody Darcy. The underhand flip to Bryce at second is in time for the 3rd out. So 1 run for the Foresters, but 3 outs from Hansen, and we head to the 7th. 9-1-2 here for the Blues. Top of the 7th inning, Darius Price to lead things off. And Price takes the pass ball off the inside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. Michael Lombardi still on the hill, working his 3rd full inning. A 9-3 Santa Barbara lead. Lombardi from the windup delivers, and Price takes low. 2 balls and no strikes. Price is 0 for 2, a pop out and a line out. So he takes the fastball low again. 3 balls and no strikes. Lombardi has walked 1, got 2 strikeouts, and gave up the 2 runs on the double by Galloway in the 6th. Here's his 3-0 offering. Price takes a fastball center cut for a strike. 3-1. Sticking on the trend of things we'll always remember from this Blues team, Darius Price, a stretch of games early in the season, that non-league stretch. So here he takes a fastball outside and draws a walk. He had that home run that was just an absolute rocket over the fence. And then the walk-off hero against the Ventura County Pirates. Darius Price hit the only walk-off the Blues had in the league season. They also had that walk-off against the Academy Barons where Jason Hansen was hit by the pitch. But Darius Price, so far, the lone real walk-off hero on a base hit. He runs it first here with nobody out. Top of the order back up. Jacob Rulli takes a low fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Rulli's 0 for 3, lined out to short in the 1st, popped out in the 3rd, and then struck out swinging in the 5th. One out. Rulli takes a curveball at the belt for a strike. 1-1. Lombardi sat at the letters across that Foresters pinstripe uniform. He deals and bends the knees of Rulli with a curveball for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first with nobody out here in the 7th inning. Lombardi looks back to Price. He sets and brings it home. And Rulli hits a line drive into right field, coming in, and a dive. It gets by the right fielder, Ballou. On his horse, Darius Price around second, heading to third. He will get stopped there at second and third with nobody out as Jacob Rulli picks up his first hit. So a little bit of a rally here starting in the 7th inning for the Blues. They get the walk and then the hit. Ballou sold out looking for the first out of the inning and just could not make the catch. It rolled all the way by him to the wall. And now 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out. Rulli at second, Darius Price at third. Here's Matt Massiangelo, who has 2 strikeouts. He's reached on an error. First pitch swinging, Massiangelo squares it straight back, 0-1 the count. Massiangelo, the Blues left fielder, leads the team in runs batted in with 12. A late joiner for the Blues after hitting .400 at CSU Bakersfield. Leads the team in hits, average, runs batted in. Chance to add another RBI here, but he's behind the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Massiangelo trying to shorten up, avoid striking out for the 3rd time here today. Lombardi from the windup delivers, and Massiangelo ropes it down the right field line, foul. Still 0-2. Blues have 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out. An 0-2 count on Matt Massiangelo. Jariah Lewis awaits on deck. Lombardi trying to battle around the traffic here in the 7th inning. The right-hander takes a deep breath, comes set, and now he brings it home. Massiangelo strikes out swinging. So the 3rd strikeout today for Massiangelo. That's out number 1 here in the 7th. And with 1 away, here comes Jariah Lewis. Final score from Thousand Oaks. The Conejo Oaks beat the Academy Barons by a score of 6-5. So officially, the Blues will be held out of the playoffs here in the summer of 2023. The regular season will come to a close. The Blues falling just behind Conejo for that final playoff spot. Even if they come through to win this one, they will not be heading to the postseason. An 0-1 count on Jariah Lewis. So the Oaks able to come out with a win, and the scenario the Blues needed no longer possible. they'll fall just short of the playoffs here in 2023. 0-1 to Lewis. Lewis takes a fastball for a strike. 0-2 the count. It was always going to be tough, especially with the Blues losing both games of the doubleheader yesterday. But Conejo makes it official. They will hold the Blues out of the postseason. Even if the Blues able to come across with a win here against the Foresters, it will be all for naught. The 0-2 home. Lewis takes in the dirt. It skids by the catcher Rogers all the way to the backstop. In to score Darius Price. Ruley goes to third. It's 9-4 on the wild pitch. So the Blues still keep the offense going. They have scored now in back-to-back frames against Michael Lombardi. Price in to score. Ruley is now at third. A 1-2 count on Jariah Lewis. 1-2. Lewis chaps one on the ground to second. Black has the ball. He throws to first for out number 2. Ruley scatters in to score, so it's 9-5 now. An RBI for Lewis, and the Blues now trail it by just 4.
Number 1, Jake Hicksonball.
Base is empty now for San Luis Obispo. They bring across another 2 here in the 7th inning. And with 2 away, the batter is Jake Hicksonball. Hicksonball popped out his first time up. Behind the count 0-1. The 0-1 offering on the outside corner, strike 2 call. So Hicksonball behind the count 0-2. Hicksonball came in the DH spot for Zach Tollerman, moved out to left field as the Blues burned the designated hitter. 0-2 on the way. Hicksonball takes high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lombardi back on the hill from the windup. He stares in a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Here it comes, and Hicksonball leaves the curveball below the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top side of the 7th, 2 away. The Blues have scored 2 to pull within 4. As Lombardi shakes his sign, prepares for the 2-2 pitch. The right-hander kicks and deals. Hicksonball spoils it foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lombardi 1 more strike away from finishing the 7th inning. He kicks and fires. Hicksonball lines it on 1 hop past Fatterson, the third baseman, and into left field. So Hicksonball picks up a league hit. He's at first base with 2 away as the Blues keep the offense rolling. A runner at first, 2 outs, and here comes Sam DiCarlo.
Batting for the Blues, third baseman, number 39, Sam DiCarlo.
DiCarlo so far today has struck out twice and grounded into a fielder's choice. So he takes a fastball here at the belt for a strike, 0-1. The second baseman from Washington trying to keep this 7th inning going. The Blues not out of this game yet. They have scored 4 unanswered to pull back within 4 runs. And they've got Hicksonball at first with 2 away. Lombardi deals. DiCarlo breaks his bat on a soft fly ball into center. Long run for the second baseman, Black, and he's not going to get there. It bounces in front of the center fielder Pace. Hicksonball all the way around to third. Another hit for the Blues as DiCarlo's bat dies a hero. First and third with 2 away. So back-to-back hits here with 2 outs, and SLO continues to score. Now Will Rogers will go out and talk to Michael Lombardi, who is floundering slightly out there on the hill. He gave up 2 in the 6th, 2 more here in the 7th, and the Blues are rallying. First and third, 2 outs, and Bill Pintard will come to the mound. So a meeting from the head coach here for the Foresters. Lombardi might have thrown his last pitch. There is a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. Jason Hansen will be the batter. Pintard, a quick meeting, leaves Lombardi out on the hill. So Jason Hansen will get to face the 2-way pitcher. Hansen now, I guess today, a two-way player of his own, has pitched the last 2 innings for the Blues. At the plate so far today, he has walked and reached on an error, scored 2 runs. He's also popped out a 1-for-3 day. Runners at the corners, 2 away. It's Hixenbaugh at third. Sam DiCarlo will the lead off first. Lombardi from the stretch kicks and fires, and Hansen takes a first pitch fastball in the outside corner, 0-1. Oh, 1. Hansen dribbles it off the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Blues ready to run on contact. They've got 2 runners aboard. 2 runs already across in this inning. 4 unanswered put up. Hixenbaugh grabs a big lead off third. DiCarlo off as well at first. Held on there by Garza Gongora. The 0-2 home. And Hansen takes high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lombardi's 1-2, and Hansen takes strike 3 call. Fastball freezes him on the outside corner, and Hansen down on strikes for the first time. 4 unanswered for the Blues. We head to the bottom of the 7th, a 9-5 score now. Santa Barbara in front. Bottom third of the order here in the bottom of the 7th for the Foresters. Now only a 4-run lead after SLO has scored 4 unanswered. Rocco Garza Gongora leads things off here against Jason Hansen, who spins a breaking ball over the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Hansen gave up 1 run in the 6th after a scoreless 5th, and now out for his 3rd full inning of work. The UC Davis signee kicks and deals. It's another breaking ball, and it's down in the dirt, 1-1. Garza Gongora, the first baseman from Oklahoma, singled and scored in the 2nd, grounded out to 2nd in the 3rd inning, and then hit a fly ball to center to start the 5th. The 1-1. Garza Gongora takes low with a fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. So the Blues' postseason hopes have been eliminated as the Conejo Oaks beat the Academy Barons here just a couple of minutes ago. Still playing for pride here at Sinsheimer Stadium, or Pershing Park rather, as this one's fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a chance still to win the season series against the Foresters, which is definitely a big deal still for the Blues. These two teams have split the previous 6 games they've played 3-3. Garza Gongora takes the curveball low, 3-2. So the winner of this game takes the season series in this rivalry matchup. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter here in the 7th. Hansen kicks and fires, and he misses low again, so Garza-Gongora takes a leadoff walk. With Garza-Gongora aboard, it makes way for Nate Voss, the DH from Michigan. Voss has 2 singles and a pop out, and he's 2 for 3.
Hitter number 23, Nate Voss.
Voss, the DH from Michigan, swings to the first pitch, lifts it in the air to right. Jacob Rulli, the Blues right fielder, over to his right a couple steps, and he makes the catch for out number 1. And now he tried to throw a laser back to the bag to pick Rocco Garza-Gongora off. I had my head down, and the throw got slightly away from Massiangelo, the first baseman. But Rulli still trying to make the little plays here late in the season. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Rylan Galvan comes up. The left fielder from Texas, a sacrifice fly. He's reached and scored on a fielder's choice, and he struck out looking his last time up. Hansen's first offering, runner on the move, and a fastball at the bottom of the zone, 0-1. So Rocco Garza-Gongora takes second, puts himself in scoring position with 1 away. The Foresters back to stealing, now only up by 4. This game's gotten closer. There's a swing and a miss on the curveball. No balls and 2 strikes. Galvan, I think, decided he wanted to swing at that a little too late, and now he's behind the count, 0-2. Hansen comes set. His 0-2 offering. Runner on the move for third. The curveball's low. Galloway throws, and it's in the dirt. Scooped out by DiCarlo, and Garza-Gongora steals another. Runner at third now, 1 away. Garza-Gongora back-to-back stolen bases on a 1-2 count. Blues bring the infield back in. Hansen kicks and fires. And he misses low with a curve. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Swing and a ground ball through the legs of Massiangelo at first. It trickles into right field, and a run comes in to score. 10-5 now on the error by the first baseman Massiangelo. As Garza-Gongora touches home, it's a 5-run lead for the Foresters.
Now batting for the Foresters, center fielder number 6, Greg Pace.
Here's Greg Pace, the center fielder from Michigan. Has been the hottest hitter today. He's got 2 singles, a home run, and a walk. Been on base all 4 times in the leadoff spot, and he's scored 3 runs. Can't imagine a much more perfect day from your leadoff hitter. Pace looking to keep things hot here in the 7th inning. Takes a fastball low, 1-0. Garza-Gongora across the score in this inning on the error by Massiangelo. Galvan is at first. 1 away. Swing and a miss here from Pace. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Pace is swinging with extra aggression. When we first saw him this summer, we saw the power was there, but he was struggling to make contact. Not struggling anymore, so he continues to raise the average. He's now got 4 home runs in his last 7 games. Two one. Pace hits a line drive down the right field line, falling quickly, and it falls for another base hit. Jacob Rulli has to slide to chase it down the line. Pace running all the way around to third. In to score Rylan Galvan. It's a triple for Pace, who's got 4 hits. He picks up another RBI, and he stands at third, an 11-5 game. Pace now just a double away from the cycle. He just continues to hit a looping liner that fell down the right field line, and just too much speed. Now a 6-run lead for the Foresters. Here's Jalen Flores. Jalen Flores, the shortstop from Texas, has a hit, a walk. He's also struck out and popped out. And Gene Traynor now emerges from the bullpen, or the Blues dugout. Long walk out for Traynor with Hansen on the hill. Hansen continues to beam a big smile on the face of the UC Davis signee. And Dean Traynor is pointing out somewhere. He's trying to figure out who the next position player to pitch is. Points it to Carlo. I think it might be Darcy who pitches. So Hansen, I think, is going to third. DeCarlo will play short, and Cody Darcy is staying in to pitch. We'll give time for Darcy to warm up, and we'll be back here on the Slow Blues Streaming Network. Cody Darcy into the game now, ready to throw here to Jalen Flores with a runner at third and one out, and Flores spears the first pitch on the ground to Hansen at third. The Blues pitcher throws on to first in time for the out. One pitch went out for Hansen, and Dean Traynor is letting out a lot of emotion from the first base dugout. A loud cheer there for Hansen making the play. He seems to be upset by the fact that the Foresters, knowing the Blues have position players on the hill and that this season is basically over, are stealing runs here in the seventh inning. They got 2 stolen bases from Garza Gongora. They now lead it by a score of 11-5 with 2 runs across. And here a pitch is a little high to Max Ballou. 1 ball and no strikes. Paces at third. He tripled Flores after he bounced out. And there's now 2 outs in the inning. A 1-0 pitch, and Ballou takes low. 2 balls and no strikes. Max Ballou has hit 2 deep fly balls to the outfield. He's also singled and struck out. Here he lifts one foul, 2-1. He's home run hunting for sure. Ballou, who's got 4 so far in the season, has missed 2 home runs by maybe a collective 10 feet. Darcy sets. The Arkansas State shortstop kicks and deals, and Ballou takes outside, 3-1. The 3-1 home. Ballou swings and taps it off Jacob Galloway behind the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So full count here with 2 away in the 7th. An 11-5 lead for Santa Barbara. Another potential run standing at third in Greg Pace. So the count now full on Max Ballou, 3-2. A runner at third, Greg Pace. Darcy looking for one more strike here in the 7th. He kicks and deals, and Ballou hits a towering fly ball. Right field, did he finally do it? Ruley at the track, at the wall. It is a ground rule double. So Ballou bounces one over the fence. He gets it over, but only 2 bags. And now it is 12-5 as Greg Pace in to score. Foresters back up by 7.
Now batting for the Foresters, catcher number 7, Will Rogers.
Here's Will Rogers, the catcher from Arizona State. Rogers, just like Pace, has had an excellent day hitting. Singled in the first, grounded out in the second, a home run in the 4th, and then he singled again in the 6th. A 3-for-4 day so far for the Sun Devil. Runner at second, bottom of the 7th, 2 away. Rogers, first pitch swinging, bounces it up the middle, deflects off the glove of Darcy. Price, the bare hand to first, In time! Darius Price plays the ricochet and gets out number 3 here in the 7th. 3 more runs for the Foresters, who now are back up by 7. Heading to the 8th, it's a 12-5 lead.
For the Blues, catcher number 40, Jacob Galloway.
We welcome you back here to SLO Baseball in the top of the 8th inning. A couple more chances here for the Blues, who now trail it by 7. A 12-5 lead for Santa Barbara. And the Blues bring up Jacob Galloway, Cody Darcy, Darius Price, the bottom third of the order here in the 8th inning. But it starts with their hottest hitter today. Jacob Galloway has 2 doubles, a couple of RBI, and a walk. Has not been retired yet. A new pitcher on the mound, it is Jackson McLeod, who deals a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. McLeod, the tall right-hander, strong fastball, and he's shown it off here already. Goes to the curveball, and Galloway dribbles it foul. No balls and 2 strikes. So this is, without a doubt, now after the Conejo win over the Academy Barons, the last game here in the summer of 2023 for the Blues. So last couple chances maybe for these guys to get at bats for 8 months or so. Probably less than that, but until February, which is when the real games start, and the last time they'll be playing anyone other than their teammates at their schools. So guys trying to get their one last hit in, send themselves into the rest of the summer break, and then into fall ball. A little momentum. Galloway taps this one foul, just catches a piece above the zone. Still no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2. Galloway takes the 2-seamer outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Blues were up first in this game, scored of 1-0. Then it was 8-1 Santa Barbara before the Blues pulled within 3. Forsters tacked on 4 more runs last inning. Galloway shoots this one foul again. So it's been a back and forth scoring affair so far, and now the Blues back to the largest deficit of the night. 7 runs down in a 12-5 game. The 1-2 home. Galloway takes the curveball in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the USC catcher not going down without a fight. The Harvard Westlake product out of high school. USC freshman one of the leaders of that freshman class for the Trojans. Having a nice day today, and he keeps going, but he lines it into the glove of Garza Gongora, who makes the jumping catch for out number 1. And Galloway smacked that one again, but right in the glove of the Oklahoma first baseman. And just like that, one out.
Number 18, Cody Darcy.
Here's Cody Darcy, the shortstop from Arkansas State. And if that is the last at-bat for Galloway here this season, despite his tough summer, a day to feel really good about to end the season. Hit the ball well every time he was up and also drew a walk. Darcy hit an RBI single back in the first inning. Since then, he's grounded out to first and struck out. 1 ball and no strikes. Jackson McLeod kicks and fires. Darcy taps it off the chest protector of Rogers. 1-1. McLeod walks around the rubber, gives his catcher a little bit of time to debrief. 1-1 count. McLeod delivers. Darcy takes a curveball in the outside corner. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Darcy leaves the curveball low this time. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Darius Price is on deck, the 9-hole hitter, second baseman today from Cal Poly Pomona. Darcy trying to reach in front of Darius Price. The 2-2 home. Darcy takes a fastball just off the plate outside. 3-2. Crowd wanted it here at Pershing Park. Final home game here for the Foresters this summer, and the crowd has been engaged all game. And they wanted strike 3 here on the beer batter. Payoff pitch. Darcy takes strike 3 call. Curveball catches the bottom of the zone, and the fans happy again. 2 outs here in the 8th. Well, we've talked about the CCL North all season. We haven't paid much, or the South rather. We haven't paid much attention to the North. But a big development today, the Walnut Creek Crawdads, who were in the first place spot, played the Sonoma Stompers today. All they needed was a win, and they'd hold on to the first seed after sweeping the Prune Packers last week. The Crawdads had stayed in first place. All they needed, a win today, to be the first seed in the North. They fall 8-5 to the Sonoma Stompers. So Healdsburg, really in the blink of an eye, with the Crawdads losing, the Prune Packers will be the top seed in the North. Not in action today. Healdsburg got to stand idly by and watch the Crawdads lose away that top seed. So Walnut Creek will have to play in round 1. They'll host, but no bye. 0-2. And Price takes the fastball outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Sonoma Stompers, who finished the season 16-19, a big win, even though they don't make the playoffs, that vaults Healdsburg back into the top spot. Price takes the curveball, strike 3 called again. 2 straight strikeouts to end the inning for Jackson McLeod, and we head to the bottom of the 8th here on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Bottom of the 8th, Cody Darcy stays on the hill for the Blues. He'll face Ryan Black to start things off, with the Blues trailing by 7. And a two-seamer misses off the plate outside, 1-0 the count. Ryan Black, the second baseman from UT Arlington, has singled. He's been hit by a pitch. He's 1 for 3. It's Black, Patterson, Garza, Gongora here in the 8th. Black rips a liner into the right center field gap, falls for a base hit. Ruley over into the gap to cut it off backhanded. Keeps Black at first, a leadoff single here in the 8th. So Black picks up his second hit, and now Daniel Patterson will come up. Patterson is one of only 2 Foresters in this lineup, him and Rylan Galvan, who do not have hits today, as the Foresters have really poured it on. 12 runs, the most they've scored against the Blues this year. Patterson normally in the thick of things, but without a hit today, as this pickoff throw gets slightly by Massiangelo, but Black stays at first. Patterson was hit by a pitch in the second inning, came around to score. Popped up in the third, hit into a ground out to third in the 4th inning, and then grounded out to short to end the 6th. Darcy delivers, and that's a fastball over the plate for a strike, 0-1. Darcy kicks and deals. Patterson hits a line drive. There's a base hit. It falls into left for a base hit. And now runners at first and second with nobody out. So a single for Patterson. Now Rocco Garza-Gongora comes up. The first baseman from Oklahoma has a single, a walk, 2 runs scored. He's 1 for 3. Darcy sets just above the belt. First and second, nobody out. He delivers, and Garza-Gongora takes a fastball below the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Darcy deals. Pitches outside. 2 balls and no strikes. It's Garza-Gongora up. Nate Voss on deck. 2 runners aboard. Black's at second. Patterson's at first. No outs here in the 8th. 3 balls, no strikes. Darcy misses outside again. Middle infield, double play depth. Trying to turn 2 for 2 outs in this inning. Darcy spots up there at the belt. 3-1 the count. Darcy back into his stretch. He strides and shoots, and Garza-Gongora lifts it in the air. High but shallow into right field. Jacob Ruley races in, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So a nice rebound there from Cody Darcy, who fell behind 3-0 in the count, but gets the out. And now with 1 away, here's Nate Voss. We might get a pinch hitter here for Voss. It looks like it is Jake Caper who will hit. One of the new additions to this Foresters roster. He takes over in the DH spot for Nate Voss, wearing number 18. Darcy can still get out of this inning with 1 more pitch. And with that sidearm delivery, has the ability to get a ground ball. Blues trying to roll 2 up the middle with DeCarlo, the new shortstop. Darius Price at second. First pitch to Caper on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. It's Ryan Black at second, Daniel Patterson at first, here with 1 away in the bottom of the 8th inning. Blues and Foresters here the season finale. Caper pops 1 up, left side in foul territory. Hansen over near the third base coach's box. He now rolls into fair territory, and he makes the catch. So Caper retired quickly by Darcy, and now there's 2 away.
Batting for the Foresters, left fielder, number 4, Rylan Galvan.
Here's Rylan Galvan with 2 away. The Texas left fielder now the only Forester without a hit today. He's grounded into a fielder's choice and an error to reach twice and score twice, but still hitless as he flies this one foul, 0-1. Galvan did have a sacrifice fly in that second inning where the Foresters scored 4 runs. So has an RBI, but he's 0 for 3. The 0-1 from Darcy. Galvan taps it back into the glove of Galloway, 0-2. Black at second, Patterson at first. As Darcy comes set. The 0-2 delivery. He goes overhand and he misses outside 1-2. And Rylan Galvan, a smile as he stares out to Darcy. I'm not sure he knew that that was in Cody's arsenal. As Darcy throws sidearm, he went overhand for the fastball but missed slightly outside. And now a 1-2 count. Pitch on the way. Pitch is inside, 2-2. Two-two. Swing and a broken bat. Fly ball lifted to short. And Sam DiCarlo ranges in for the out. Last chance for the Blues on offense here in 2023. We're heading to the top of the ninth. A 12-5 lead for the Foresters. Last offensive inning here for the Blues in the summer of 2023, and the Foresters turn to a position player of their own. Daniel Patterson takes over on the hill. Here's Jacob Ruley, the leadoff hitter, to start things off. And a fastball at the belt for strike one. So Patterson moves from third base, the Westmont product, on the mound now here for the ninth inning. A 12-5 lead for Santa Barbara. And he goes to the curveball. Ruley rolls it on the ground to short. Flores gobbles it up. His low throw in time to get Ruley one away. So Jacob Ruley finishes out his season with a 1-for-5 day. And now Matt Massiangelo will come up. Or no, a pinch hitter, Jake Bold, coming to the plate. So Massiangelo being pinch hit for. Jake Bold will get an at-bat. So Massiangelo's day finishes 0-for-4. He struck out 3 times and reached on an error. And this is Jake Bold, who broke his hitless spell yesterday with an infield single. 10-for-45 on the season. One away here in the ninth. Patterson from the windup kicks and deals. And Bold takes a high fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. So the Foresters going with their own position player. And Patterson's got a strong fastball. His 1-0 offering. Bold takes it in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Got to be at least close to mid-80s, maybe in the 90s. Patterson, a big smile on his face. Needs 2 more outs here to finish out the regular season. The 2-0. Bold checks his swing on a fastball that misses inside. 3-0 the count. 1 away, top 9. Season finale here for the Blues as they trail it by 7. Bold takes inside. So it's a walk for Bold in his last plate appearance as a Blue. He takes the jog down to first. I'm not sure he was hoping for a walk. I think he wanted a chance to hit, but he takes 4 straight out of the zone, and it gives way to another pinch hitter. Giovanni Blanchette will hit here for Jariah Lewis. The right fielder heading to Fresno City College will come up for one final time. Lewis's night finishes with 2 strikeouts, a pop out, and a ground out. Bold at first now, 1 away. Blanchette so far this season hitting 188 across 18 games. Takes a curveball here at the belt for strike 1. Blanchette, who entered the summer season as a St. Mary's player, then entered the transfer portal midseason, has told us now he will be heading to Fresno City College next year. And he takes another curveball, no balls and 2 strikes. And I don't think he expected, when coming up against a position player here in the 9th inning, that he was going to get back-to-back curveballs to start the at-bat. And 0-2 count, Patterson from the stretch. The Forester righty delivers. It's back to the curveball, and Blanchette hits a soft liner to third. A nice play there by the new third baseman, and the throw to second is in time, but the throw to first not in time. So a fielder's choice from Blanchette, and now there's 2 away. It's Ryan Black who has shifted over to play third. He made a nice play on a 1-hop line drive, softly hit off the bat of Blanchette at third. So the fielder's choice means it's Blanchette at first. Blues down to their last out here in 2023. And the batter is Jake Hicksonbaugh. Patterson fires. Hicksonbaugh takes a fastball in the outer half. 0-1. Hicksonbaugh trying to reach for Sam DiCarlo, who's on deck. Hicksonbaugh has reached in both plate appearances since coming into the game for Tollerman. Swings at an 0-1 curveball here, right over top. 0-2. So the Foresters a strike away from ending their regular season with a win here over the Blues and taking the season series. Patterson comes set from the stretch. The righty delivers. Hicksonbaugh strikes out swinging. The SLO Blues 2023 season ends with a 12-5 loss here to the Santa Barbara Foresters as the Foresters race out of the dugout a season series victory, and they finish their regular season with a 7-run win here over the Blues. So the end of the 2023 season, a bittersweet moment as the Blues came into today with a long shot hope at making the playoffs and end up, they didn't get either of the legs that they needed. The Oaks won, the Blues lost, and so SLO will finish the regular season here with the loss today to the Foresters, a 15-20 regular season record for the Blues. They played 48 total games, 433 innings across league and non-league play, and it ends here today with a loss to the Foresters. So a tough season for the Blues, who go back-to-back seasons with losing records, but they'll be back in the summer of 2024 with, I'm sure, a vengeance, a chip on their shoulder, and they'll hope to make the playoffs after missing this season. Last time we're signing off here on the SLO Blues streaming network for a while. 48 games, and it's going to feel weird to not have another one. But I want to thank all of you for tuning in throughout this entire season. It has been an absolute honor to speak to you guys over the baseball that the Blues have played here on the league season. I know Nate Mills, who had to leave a couple of weeks ago and is in Croatia right now, would say the same thing, but we really appreciate all of your guys' efforts to tune in to every Blues game, even when you can't make it to the field. And you guys really are the best fans in the CCL. The Foresters say goodbye to their home fans. We say goodbye to you here on the SLO Blues streaming network. For everyone all season that has contributed to our broadcasts, I'm Jack Smith saying thank you and so long.